Okay, it's 1 minute past. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Assetti webinar. Today's our topic is budgeting, the new budgeting release. We will today go through a short intro first. I will start with that, and then Emma, our product specialist, will continue with the demo, and then in the end, we have time for questions and answers. My name is Olli Puuri and I'm the account manager at Assetti. I'm working with customers and making sure that Assetti is fulfilling their needs. So let's start with a short intro. What is Assetti budgeting and what is all about? So Assetti in general has been really good at reporting so far. We have plenty of different KPIs. We have different KPIs where you can see the current status. We have KPIs where you can see the historical development. And we have some table views. We have Excel exports. We have report templates. We have dashboards. So we have really good solution how you can actually report the current status, how you can report the development up to this point. But with budgeting, actually, we look to the future and especially to the financial future. So we are really shifting more and bringing more attention to the financial future, financial planning with budgeting and how you can basically use the data which you have, how you can plan the upcoming steps. If you have a certain business plan for a property, that how you can actually just add the business plan into Assetti. And let's have a better look at this. So budgeting, first of all, what is the whole purpose of the Assetti budgeting? We will improve the usability of the whole financial information function so that it's more easier for user to use and there are more ways, it's more flexible for users to use. And then we will add value to the financial data, especially in asset financial planning, monitoring, and reporting. So our goal is really that Assetti is really the ideal tool for asset financial planning, monitoring, and reporting. So that you can plan the future, you can monitor that how you are actually performing compared to your plan, and then you can report always your current status or the status and the historical performance. The content of this budgeting release now includes at least those 3 items. I have collected those main items to slide. And first of all, it's about long-term budgeting, up to 10 years. So far in Assetti, you have been able to create budget for this year. But from now on, you can actually create budget for up to 10 years. So meaning that if you have a business plan with kind of it's from up to 5 years or 6 years, up to 10 years, you can actually create it at once and you can see the whole performance, how it is budgeted from this day, and you can see the situation in 10 years. Then we include the budgeting data from leases, repairs, and loans. This is really a new function, a really long-awaited function. For example, that you have leases in your system, and you have some leases ending in the middle of the year, some leases starting later in the year. So we can take the rental income budget from the lease agreements. So if the lease ends in June, then you can see the rent income decreases in July. And if there are new agreements in August, you can see how the rental income increases. So you can follow really really exactly that how the lease changes are affecting to your income budget. Also, if you have capex repairs planned for next year, you will do some renovation and you have planned a certain budget for that one, or you have multiple of those for different properties, then you can also display those into the future budget. And finally, the loans. When you have a lot of loans and you have added the information in Assetti, you can also show the loan costs in Assetti budget as well. So really, Assetti is automatically getting data from various places in Assetti and combining them together in the budget and really creating the view to the future. Automated solution. And finally, we have a flexible time selection options. You can have different ways to compare budget to actuals, or you have different options to see financial information in yearly level or in monthly level, how you want. Budgeting will be published quite soon. We will have still kind of a more details about this one, and it's available for all professional and enterprise subscriptions. So if you have those, then the budgeting is automatically available for you. Then let's have a short look at what will be something new on the Assetti user interface. What is actually the concrete changes there? And we start with the budget creation. As I mentioned before, you can take many more things into account when you are creating the budget. Before, you had a limited options. You were able to create budget for the current year, but now on, you have a really multiple ways to create different budget scenarios. You have an option to select the time frame, what is starting year, what is the ending year, and you have many different options how you can set the budget. Let's have a better look on this budget creation. What is in here in short? Emma will continue a bit later. But this is the window where you can create a budget. First of all, it might be that you have multiple properties. You have multiple properties and you would like to use same budget terminology for all. So then you can actually save a predefined budget names, such as 10-year budget, worst case budget, operative budget. And then you can apply those certain budget names for all the budget. So then they are all budgets are in line and they can be compared. Secondly, you can select the time frame. So what is the first year of the budget? What is the last year of the budget? And as I said, up to 10 years, you can create the budget. Lease data for income budget. So here's an option. If you click this on, then we can use the lease agreement data as it is right now in Assetti, and we can reflect this lease agreement data in the income budget. So you can really see that how the lease agreement changes are reflected to this income budget. It's really important feature which many customers have been waiting. Loans, as I mentioned, we include the loan costs automatically. The budget calculation, here you have option to select that whether you want to add the loan cost to the budget or not. If you don't want, then that's of course also possible. And then finally, the capex repairs. Again, there's an option you can include those into the budget or not. But if you have those saved in your Assetti, then it's really easy to select that, okay, I want to have my capex reflected on the budget, and then they will be shown there. Emma will give you a bit more details. So how exactly you can create budget with this one. what kind of different options there are. So this is just a brief overview that what you can expect. Finally, there are usability enhancement for the budget. What I have brought up here is the time selection. So previously we had one view for the financial information. So we had a monthly view from January until December this year, and then you can browse to different years. But now this view is customizable. So you can select first of all the timeline for the reporting. So you can select that what data is visible on this one view. You can select that it's, for example, 2021 until 2023. You can also make it like you want to see January this year until April this year. So there are many options. And then you can see the frequency of the periods. So if you have selected 2021 until 2023, then you can see that within this time frame, do you want to see the data monthly so that you can see each monthly separately, or do you want to see the data per quarterly so you can see only the quarters, or do you want to see the annual data, so 2021, 2022, 2023? That's also possible. So it's flexible. We know that not all properties are following the January until December financial year, so this is the way that actually you can set your own time period. And this also applies to the budget comparison. So if you want to have the budget comparison for certain part of the year, that's possible. Or for if you want to compare the budget between the years, like last year, this year, it's also possible. So many exciting changes, and I have only touched the surface, and Emma will take you deeper. So then I will actually give stage to Emma. So Emma, you are free to continue.
Yes. Thank you, Olli, for the introduction. I think you were covering very well all the details in that sense. As Olli said, and told, the budget information is linking data from the leases, loans, and then from the property information that is stored. But we will now focus to the actual pop-up and the creation logic, but you can find the detailed articles from the knowledge base. And through the UI, you can navigate to the knowledge base from there. Budgeting functionality is found under the financial info of the property. And by clicking the add button, you get the possibility to create a new budget. The budget names are settings, so you can create the settings from the settings section of Assetti. And then you have the same detailed terms for each properties in use. Then you are able to select the year that you want to budget. Let's now create the budget for the next 5 years, for example. So as it's available until 10 years, but let's now focus to the next following years. You can select if you want to copy the base information based on the actuals or the budget, and then from which year. And let's use it 2021 for this example now, because that's the one that I have the actuals for the whole year available. Then inflation rate can be added for the whole budget, and then you can do the same for the incomes and then for the costs and so forward. And as you can see, you can always like select or deselect the options based on the what you want and what you agree. Also, it is possible to use certain increases per income groups. So when you are using the rent types in the leases, then you have the possibility to add the, for example, that the rent increases with 3.5%, but then utility charges could be, for example, 5. So then you can add those one by one. If you don't want to use the total amount, but we will go with the total now. The one part that I think we are quite excited is this using the lease agreement data for the incomes. So you have the possibility to use the rental as it is, or then based on the lease notice terms. So it is depending a bit about the use cases, which one is suiting the best for the need, but both of those are available. And of course, you can also use the actual from the past year, but this one is then overriding the selection in that sense. For the incomes, let's use the as it is for the example. And then when you navigate to this next section, the other one is hiding, but still our sales like selections are there. Or again, you can set the increases based on certain OPEX groups, and the OPEX groups are now the ones that we have predefined at Assetti, so the same ones that you can see from the KPIs, for example. We will go again with the inflation rate. When you're using the loans functionality, you are able to link the loans for the budget. And as we can see from this one, that it is finding now one loan, and this one loan is something that I have created in the loans functionality, and it is having this selected property, this as a collateral point, and the property also needs to have the total area. Then in case you have some, for example, portfolio loans, then the total area is the one that this is the budget is calculating the loan sum for the budget. Let's include the loan. And then based on the account map settings, then we can define the available accounts. And for my example, I have 2 options. And monthly service cost, I want to go to 2020, as well as the initial, and then I will put the total interest to this 2030 account. Again, I can multiply the interest with the inflation rate, but now I will not do that. Also, the repairs functionality is linked to the budgeting. This budgeting is collecting all the activated repairs. So when you are adding a repair for a property, you can select in the repairs view if you want to activate it or not. And when you select activate, it is also asking in the repairs, do you want to include that in the budgeting? And if you select yes, then you can find the repairs here. If we would have more, then there would be the value is changing, so you can see actually how many repairs it is finding. I think that is helping to confirm if the data is correct. Let's add it there. The account for the repairs is added in the repairs part, so not in this pop-up up there in the other view. Also, you can save some notes. So this is linking then the budgeting and the notes functionality that you can find from there. But let's see that then. Or I will not now add any note to this. After we have added all the information we want, we can click create and let Assetti to do some calculation. So it might take a short while for Assetti to create the budget, but then we can find it. Yeah, as said in the beginning, there can be 5 different budgets for one property at a time, and those are created and edited the names in the settings. Also, you can import and add the data for the budget through the API, or then using the import functionality. But this pop-up is the one that you have all the options to select various things. By default, I'm placed to the specific budget that I just created, and as said, it was for starting from 2023. And from this one, then I can see scroll through the years and see the budgeted values. The capex, so this is the one repair that I had there. That goes to the month that it is the start date for the repair, and then we can see the financing costs, so the loan information in their own section. And income and cost is based on the data, or this one is now based on the actuals as selected, and then the rents is based on the lease agreements. The time selections that there is can be edited through this view, so only had screenshot of this one, maybe to show it how it reacts. So this monthly, oops, no, I did click something weird. But the monthly value is the one that we are used, so it's the one that there has been previously. But as you select, for example, the quarterly data, then you are getting this kind of view where there's like all the quarters are shown as their own columns, and then the yearly values are, or the annual selection is then having like 1 year, 2nd year, 3rd year as their own columns. How I keep clicking all the time for it. It's easier to see. From the small arrows, you can go one step further, and then this, which is having 2 ones, then it's going 1 year at the time forward. And what else? This allows you, we have also one like older budget. I will scroll to that one. So this one is making you, or enabling the possibility to select which budget you are reviewing. So if we would have now, for example, all the 5 ones that we can have, those are shown here as a list. and then you can see the review views, and also, as we were checking in the beginning, the comparison options are also here, that you can create your own ones. Maybe then shortly about the comparison views in more detail. So these ones, again, you can create those for properties and however you like. Let's create now this, for example, this. Really like create it now with the terms and coming up with the example. But this enables you to select which budget you want to use. So let's use the one that we just created for the 1 to 5 years. And then you can select the actual, currently we are supporting only the one, but that's also for the future development. And but as the future is not there yet and we don't have any actual for the future, and I created this budget for the following year, so I will still have the one. Then we can either deselect or add the ones directly from this view, so you can create different ones for the different years. And again, you can see the difference. So now this view is, for example, enabling you to check the whole period from February forward, and then so you can see the longer period than before. We have only supported the 12 months at the time. And the demo data is sometimes always like making you funny numbers. And this one is something that we have had there already earlier, but those are available still. Is there something that we should still highlight, Olli or Steffi, or any questions?
Yeah, I think if the export is one thing, of course, that you can take the exports
True.
as well of the budget. So what do you see here?
Yes.
Yeah, but should we take some questions to this point? So if you have any questions in your mind, anything, is this possible? Will this be possible? Can I do this? Or any feedback in your mind? Or something, feel free.
Yeah, Olli, Kai here. Thank you for the presentation. One question, is there a way to have a comparison year over year with actual numbers? So comparing actual numbers from January 21 with January 22.
Emma, do you want to show?
I think.
But do you mean like only actuals, not budget at all? So only actual 2020, actual 2021?
Only actual data to have a actual data comparison year over year.
So if you, Emma, take actual and then only take the yearly.
And this one is actually having like the actual now from, for example, February, and then February, and actually we are having it empty there. But if we would go previously, so yes, we have added the possibility, so you can scroll longer periods also over the time. So for example, we can see the actual from November 2020 and then 2021. Also this is then you can see the, but this one doesn't have the color coding also. So the color coding and the calculations, those are available for the budget and actual comparison only. But this is making it possible for you to see the longer period in one view.
Can you also show that you can only see 1 year, like 2020, 2021, like only for actuals? Like if you select only the actual from the left side.
No, true. I didn't even. Now it's loading. I don't know. What did I do?
The demo effect.
Or internet effect.
Internet effect. But yeah, it's definitely it's quite possible, and that's why one of the really key enhancement for this financial info, so that actually you can select that because currently you can see, or you have been seeing only kind of this January until December, but now you can select that you want to see only annual values, and you can select that you want to see annual values from 2017 until 2022, for example. And you can do the same for budget as well. So that's really possible. So you can see actually that how the values have enhanced or kind of evolved.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that. Where can I see that? I'm just looking for something like one column is like 2020
yes,
compared to 2021, and it's plus or minus 10%, 5%, whatever. That is.
Well, in Assetti, you can see one column 2022, one column 2021, one column 2020, and then you can see that how the values have changed throughout the years.
Okay, thank you.
So here, for example, you can see January 2020 until January 2020, January 2021, December 2021, January 2022, December 2022. So here you can see actually values for each year, how they have improved or decreased, and then you can have the annual view, but you can also have the quarterly view if you want. So then you can actually see each quarter in each year.
Okay, very good. Just one more question on that. If you have the comparison function where it shows you also, I think, a percentage change in what happened, budget versus actual, do you also have this comparison for actual versus actual?
Emma, can you answer this question?
I think we don't currently have it, but we will make a note and answer you later also if we were now wrong with that one. I have been now only focusing to this budgeting, so I'm not fully.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, basically now the core of this enhancement is really that we have a full financial view on the actuals, full financial view on the budget, and then the comparison is always actual versus budget. So that is something that you can, basically we see that the actual is your business plan, and then, budget is your business plan, and then actual is the actual what has happened. So you can always compare, for example, actual compared to the worst case budget, or actual compared to the long-term budget. And that is really easy way to see that how you're performing compared to the different budgets.
Okay, thank you.
And maybe one thing also that if the budget would change, if you save the budget with the same name, then it will overwrite the previous one. So then it's really also easy way to update the budget if needed. Do you have any other questions? Maybe Emma, can you still share the Zendesk articles, our help desk articles about
Yes.
budgeting? We have a really good help desk articles where you can find more info.
Yes. So the articles are found under the portfolio properties, units, strategy, and loans, because that's the data we are combining. And then you can find the separate section for the budgeting. And on that one, we have the introduction, so that's showing the basics and detailed information, then how to use specific sections of the budgeting, then you can find from the related articles. And as we went those through today, actually all of them, that's the place to find the information, and you can always ask from the chat for more information.
The address is assetti.zendesk.com.
Yes.
And it's public, so you can, even though you're not Assetti user, you can always go there and you can search for more information. Good. Final chance for any questions. Anything, what do you have in your mind? I think if I'm not incorrect, we will still inform you once actually the budget is available and you can use it. So Emma said yes, so probably that's correct. So
yes.
we will inform you. And if you have any more questions, any ideas, any feedback later coming, feel free to contact us. If you think that you would need some training, that how you can add the repairs, how you can add the loans, how you can add the leases so that they can actually be shown on the budget, then feel free to contact us and we can organize a training. So really our aim is that you can really take the most out of the budget, and you could use the budget and consider this as an option compared to the Excel, which is really the typical way of doing the budgeting in the industry. But we are giving an option that how you can make it digital, how you can make it automated, how you can compare it automatically. But we thank you for your interest, for your time. This webinar will be, this webinar record will be shared also later in LinkedIn. So if you have some colleagues who didn't share this one, you can also share it with them. But at this point, we wish you a happy rest of the day, happy week, and let's talk later. Let's be in touch.